Hey guys, hi, welcome back. So right now you can see our beautiful setup is ready. So what we need to do is we need to apply physics into our game right now. And for that, I will be going through some concepts. Don't worry if these concepts are not 100% clear to you. Just try to follow along with me and try to create a project. And after that, slowly as you are making bunch of projects, you will definitely get a strong hands on the Unity physics, because Unity physics is somewhat advanced, but yeah, I will try my best to keep it as simple as possible. Okay, so I'm just clicking the player right now. So what we can do, so basically whatever things that you want to do in a physics and in a Unity, basically to get physics simulated, so like to get a simulation of a physics, there is some setup required. So as an initial setup, if we want to work on a physics, we need a component called as rigid body. So as we are working on a 2D project, we need a rigid body 2D component. So like as simple as that. So in a player, we will first add a rigid body 2D component. Rigid body 2D. Rigid body is the component for 3D games, and rigid body 2D is the component for 2D games. So as we are working on 2D, we will go for the 2D. Suppose tomorrow you started working on the 3D project, make sure you are using the rigid body component. 3D is not mentioned here. So, but yeah, like if the 3D is not mentioned, assume that it is a 3D. So yeah, a rigid body 2D. So I have applied the rigid body component to our player. So just let me check. Yeah. So what like if you guys can quickly play it. So I haven't explained how to play a game. So here you can see simple 3 buttons, like here is like play, here is a pause, and here is a step by step. So this button will help you to go further in your game frame by frame. So don't worry about that button right now. We will be focusing on the play and pause button. So if I click play, so here you can see, like for now I will simply remove the component. So as we can add a component from a game object, we can simply remove it as well. So just right click on it and simply remove it for now for demonstration purpose, and simply hit play. So it will take a few seconds, but right now you can see nothing is happening, right? So all the blocks are there, like player is not doing anything, walls are not doing anything, nothing, right? So but now I will stop the play and I will add a rigid body component into it, rigid body 2D component into it, and I will again hit a play. So yeah, this is what happens. So what just happened is our player is now has a rigid body, means it is an entity which reacts on a physics. And as you can see, we all live on the earth and everyone get impacted by our gravity, right? So as simple as that, our player also get impacted with gravity. So here you can see gravity scale. Again, this is a fairly complex component. Don't worry much about it. But yeah, just understand that this is a required component for a physics for now, and this is something called as gravity scale. Try to make it minus. Can anyone guess the output? What will happen after the play? Yeah, if someone had said Superman, then yeah, this is a Superman for you. But yeah, for now I will keep gravity scale 1. Actually, we don't need that, so I will just make the gravity scale 0, because we are making what I can say. We are not making a gravity based game right now. Okay, our game is like called as Mr.Block. So our Mr.Block is like horizontal based game, not a vertical based. So I'm just keeping gravity scale 0, again hitting play. So now my gravity is 0, my player will not get impacted by the gravity, as simple as that. So this is what is very important. I will quickly hit save. So now what we need to do is we need some colliders. As we can see, we have a body, right? So and if I collide with something, I get a feedback. Okay, I got my both hands got collided. So similar to that, in a game world, we need something to detect the collisions as well, and that's where colliders come into picture. So as simple as that, our player is a block, right? A simple square. So to make it collide with each other, with the world, we need to add a component called as box collider 2D. So here you can see box collider 2D and again box collider. I have already explained box collider is for 3D. So I will type simply collider. So you can see different types of colliders here: box collider, capsule collider, circle collider, mesh collider, and whatnot. You can explore them later, but yeah, I will just restrict our limit here. Yeah, box collider 2D, add it. So cool, right? So if you can zoom in, you can see in a scene view, just zoom in. If you want to zoom in, you can just double click. If you double click on the player, if you double click on the wall, it will focus the walls. If you want to focus on the player, just double click on the player. So this is a box collider component, and if you click here, edit collider, here you can see you can edit. Oh, my bad. Yeah, you can edit the collider as well. So our player is this much, and I want to make my collider this much. Doesn't make sense, right? So I am just Control Z. I will just Control Z. So basically, when you create a collider, Unity detects the approximate shape, and right now Unity has detected it very well. So right now you can see the box collider is added to our player, and that's what we want for now. Same goes for walls. Wall will not have a rigid body. I will tell you why later. To detect a collision, at least one of the bodies need rigid body. Both bodies doesn't need to have a rigid body, and as our player have a rigid body, we can detect a collision towards the wall, but every wall must have a component. So how we can add together, like we want box collider in all of the game objects, right? So it is purely like, suppose you have thousands of walls, you can't simply click, add a component. You won't be doing that, right? That is not a scalable solution. So click on the wall, again hold the shift, click on the last wall, so all will get selected. So now you can see all the common properties will get shown here. So add component, box collider 2D, as simple as that. So all the walls now have a box colliders. So this is what we want for this video. Thanks a lot. Yeah, feel free to reach out if you are facing any issues to make this setup. Thanks a lot.